Hi, I'm Catherine Diorio, and this week on Check Please, radio host Molly Cavanaugh says she could talk all day long about her selection because it fills her belly and heart with happiness. But teacher William Ferguson says that if you want a fun place to steady up on terrific tacos, burgers, bows, and much more, he knows just the spot. Up first, real estate executive Christine Torres says the Gold Coast has been waiting for a place like her pick for years. She says for an idyllic Italian experience, get yourself to Rush Street and join her at Nico Osteria.
We like to walk this casual and a little bit stepped up elegant line. We call it rustic elegance here. And I just think it speaks to comfort, just soulful good food. The menu is, I would say, maybe like a sea-inspired Italian menu. I don't like to challenge people's perception of what food is. It's not my style. I just want them to come in and feel comforted. Try to attach to some sort of memory that's back there. I think that's my goal. I fell in love with Italy when I was studying there for 6 months in college, and that's where the love affair began, and here we are. And one of the things that we really like to articulate in the menu is how vast the genre of Italian food is. I think that making people happy, like really happy, like when they come and tell us a story about something that happened in their past, or talk about a family member, like that's when we know that we really succeeded. And if I could get that 100% of the time, then that would just be success, right?
So Christine, you say Nico Osteria is outstanding. Tell us why you chose it.
So Nico is such a lovely, upscale, chic, fine dining concept. It's just smack dab in the middle of Gold Coast. And it's just really stunning and architecturally beautiful. One of my favorite places, and really high quality Italian.
What style of Italian is it?
So the chef really focuses on it being a seafood based concept, and so it's very Mediterranean and really fresh. They have a really extensive crudo menu, and the menu's kind of broken up to antipastis, pasta, really big mains that are really stunning and giant for big groups. So yeah, it really just satisfies any palate from, just wanting a few noshes while you're having a cocktail, or if you really want to get after it.
Well, as soon as I went to the website to check out what the menu was going to look like, I saw the Italian seafood, and I was hooked right there before I even got to the place. The lobster spaghetti, just absolutely, it was phenomenal. I believe all the pasta there is homemade. It's fresh, made on that day, but with the exception of the lobster spaghetti. So when the server asked me, like, oh, is it okay this isn't one of our fresh homemade pastas? I was like, it's okay.
It's fine.
Bring it on,
Yeah.
It's okay. We also had the mussels beforehand, which were fantastic. And then we had the Brussels sprout bruschetta, and it was...
You are hitting all my favorites.
Oh man, it was, so I think I was a little jaded eating Brussels sprouts growing up. My grandmother made them, and they were just very plain and not even, wasn't even some salt on them. So now I'm like having a Brussels sprout renaissance.
Yes.
It was just so...
It's like this epiphany.
Oh my goodness. I was like, I didn't realize you could do all these things to Brussels sprouts.
Right.
And you can. My wife got the steak, and that was phenomenal as well.
So Molly, what did you think of it?
It was a beautiful location. I am not shy about high-end dining. I used to work in the industry. I waited tables at high-end, and I've dined at high-end. I thought it was pricey. I gotta be honest.
Yeah, and I can agree with that. It is definitely a high-price, hot-ticket item. I mean, you're right in the middle of Gold Coast.
Right.
You're a stone's throw away from Mag Mile. All these steakhouses, it'd be pretty challenging to find, not that you were looking for it, but like a cheap bite type to eat.
Right.
We had the opposite experience. I knew we were going to the Gold Coast, so I knew that I needed to bring, the credit card.
Right.
And that was okay. I wasn't tremendously surprised looking at the prices. It was pretty much exactly what I expected.
Right. Like, I feel like the seafood, absolutely fresh. It was a very luxurious experience. We got, as an appetizer, prosciutto. It's like the gnocchi frito or
Yes.
frito. Oh my Lord. Like with the goat cheese. Ridiculous. And then for entree, I decided, everybody was like, try the chicken, like try something. So I was like, okay, I'll get the chicken. And it was really pretty. It was like the crispy crust on it. My husband got the salmon, and the filet was like, I did not have the experience with like, oh my gosh, there was just so much food. It was like, I don't have sticker shock, but it was sort of like, I felt that maybe the portions were a little lean for my
Totally.
taste.
My recommendation is to, mix the crudo with a main dish,
Right.
And a pasta, because of course the carbs fill you up pretty quickly.
And I think maybe that was part of it. Like, I feel like maybe I didn't pick what would have gone together well. But the big thing for me was I was blown away by their pastry selection. Like, the little macaroons at the end of the meal were such a neat, yummy touch.
They're totally all about the detail, and the chef does a really good job of really picking the right ingredients, so you pick up all these different notes. Everything has a purpose and nothing's there in a gratuitous way.
Right.
Chef Erling Wubauer trained under Paul Kahn basically since the start of his career, and he's been up now. He's been nominated twice for James Beard Best Chef Great Lakes. So 2015 and then again this past year. So maybe third time's a charm.
I know.
Yeah. Well, I want to talk a little bit about the atmosphere.
I loved it. As soon as you walk in, I mean, you see that big, beautiful open kitchen, and you're kind of taken aback. And I thought the decor was lovely. The ambiance was great. The noise level was perfect.
Yeah.
You're pretty close with people, so it's we're about this far apart when
Right.
you're sitting next to someone that can be a little awkward sometimes. We didn't experience that at all. It was lovely.
So, Molly, we've talked a lot about the fact that it's located in the Gold Coast.
Right.
Why don't you talk a little bit about the Gold Coast and what it actually means to be in the Gold Coast?
It is high-end living. I mean, you're going to go, it is beautiful people. And then we were leaving and we were waiting for our car at valet, and it was like the perfect quintessential like Gold Coast moment. This like black tinted SUV livery just pulls up and the door opens and this woman steps out. She is like the best body that man could make. I mean, it was like, I like scuttle into my Toyota Highlander. I was like, please don't look at me, I just ate. Right. Food. You know what I mean? But that is also part of it. I mean, you're like, that is
It's a
the
see and be seen place.
Right.
Absolutely.
It definitely is.
Christine, you chose Nico Osteria. Sum it up for us.
Really high quality, really unique Italian cuisine.
Great. And Molly?
Good food and good people watching.
Great. And William?
Savory Italian seafood, just wonderful atmosphere, just a great experience all around on the Gold Coast.
You can sample the seafood for yourself at Nico Osteria, 1015 North Rush Street, 312-994-7100. Open for breakfast and lunch Monday through Friday and dinner every day. Reservations are accepted and the average tab per person without drinks is $60. William Ferguson isn't sheepish when it comes to touting his favorite restaurant. He says that if you're looking for bountiful burgers and much, much more, make your way to Andersonville and check out the goodness of Little Bad Wolf.
They're gonna know right away it's Little. And at the same time, we thought we were gonna be badass, which I believe we are. I think our food is badass. I think our drinks are top notch. And then, wolves are just cool, man. They're up there on my echelon of top animals.
Mike Trotto is one of our head chefs, and he's done a great job with our entire menu. We wanted it to all be good, and it is.
I want a burger, Little Bad Wolf. I want a taco, Little Bad Wolf. I want a bao, Little Bad Wolf. I want fried chicken, Little Bad Wolf.
After 6 p.m., it's lively. It's full of people, full of energy. All types of folks are coming in here. I think they're enjoying it. I really do.
I think restaurants are important. People live their lives in them. They meet new people. They make up. They celebrate. They break up. They live their lives in restaurants, and I believe in that.
So, William, you say no one should be afraid of the Little Bad Wolf. Tell us why you chose it.
Little Bad Wolf, we've been there probably half a dozen times now, and each time we go, the experience seems to get that much better. They just have a really eclectic menu. It's broken up into 4 different sections, well, 5, but it's a pinch, fold, grab, and stab. The fold, you have tacos and of Mexican descent, and then baos of Chinese descent, and then below that you have the grab, which are your burgers, which in my opinion it starts and ends with the burgers, but everything in between is great as well. And then they just have a pretty decent list of entrees as well, which again, all, they've had the fried chicken before. I'm a sucker for fried chicken, and that was wonderful. I just haven't had a bad thing there. They have a whiskey list that I think is over 100 deep.
Yeah.
Same with the beers. There's really nothing there that has disappointed us to this point, so it's wonderful.
Yeah, I went with a bunch of girlfriends. I went heavy on the apps. Like, I was so excited. The mussels that I had, I still think
too.
about. The green curry with the coconut milk.
Really good.
I shared it with a friend, and I was mad. Like, I was like, why did I do that? Like, she's like, oh, these are good. I was like, yeah, well, let's just not take so many.
I know. It's like, is it okay if I pick up this whole bowl and just drink out of it?
It
was really good.
It was really good. I just love a good broth like that. Then we got baos and tacos, and I sort of did it on purpose because I wanted to see if they were really going to be baos and tacos, or if it was going to be like, oh, look at this, it's El Pastor on a bun.
Right.
You know what I mean? And it wasn't. They all had their own individual flavor profiles, which I thought was so fantastic. And then we also shared the steak frites for the table, which were just to die for.
So I really like the food. Andersonville is such a cute area. I think there are just so many restaurants and really cute ice cream shops and really cute shopping around the area. So it's always just a delight to be over there. And the food is delicious. I love how they have kind of the Asian-inspired dishes. We had the lumpia, which is Filipino. I'm Filipino, so I was very happy to see that. The burger was just so decadent. It comes out and it is just this grandiose, like you're almost taken aback at the sight of it, like, what did I do? Like, this is so big. And so it's, it comes with the fried onion strings, and then the bacon and the runny egg, which you really can't go wrong with. We also got the mac and cheese, which sometimes, everywhere has that. But this was just delicious, just kind of hit every point. And then just to kind of mix it up from all the gastropub type stuff, we had the trout with the bacon hash and the greens, and it was just a nice kind of departure from the really heavy, and it's just really well done. I think the only minor complaint that I had was we had some service issues.
Okay.
One of which was the host wasn't particularly friendly. Normally when you walk in, that's really your first impression for the entire dining experience. And I had to be the one to be like, hi, we need a table for 3. And she kind of just pointed to the communal table as opposed to really walking me over there and kind of making an experience.
I think given the size too, a lot of times you're not going to wait on the other end of the restaurant like some sushi places that I know of.
Exactly.
It's just sort of like, oh, here you are, there you go. Like, here's the
Exactly.
waiting
It's
station.
not a big spot, but it definitely, hurts a little bit when the staff isn't warm and friendly or accommodating. You don't want to feel like you're essentially not wanted there. The food was good. I would go back for that for sure.
What's it feel like there?
It's upbeat. So it's on the north end of Andersonville. There's a pretty eclectic crowd that you'll see there as well, which makes for a really fun atmosphere. It gets pretty loud. It's a fairly small place. It's like 40. I think it seats 40 or 50. So while the music's loud, you're sitting pretty close together. So conversation for us anyway has never really been an issue. Another key is they are open until 2, and the kitchen closes a half hour before closing. So
Which is unusual.
Right. So if you've had a long night, you forgot to eat dinner, or you were drinking
late
your
night
dinner,
mac and cheese,
right? Yeah,
right.
it's you can go there and grab a bite before you turn in for the evening.
I was absolutely blown away by the cocktail list. I'm a sucker for a craft cocktail. Like, I'm so excited about this trend now where it's all about like yummy, like weird. My husband's like, what is that? I was like, I don't know, it's got a sprig of lavender in it. It's fantastic. But I had the chupacabra, and it was so good. My only complaint, I would say, would be I want a dessert.
Yes.
Yeah, they don't have dessert at
They
all.
don't have dessert.
Not yet. I'm not particularly a dessert guy. I usually, again, I pass on dessert, and I'll just have like another helping while everyone else eats dessert. So that's no bother for me. But I can definitely see how that would.
But without having dessert there, I was kind of like offended almost too that they didn't have dessert. Like, I was like, wait, I need this to end the meal. It's not over.
It's so
Exactly. But with that said, Andersonville is such a cute neighborhood that it is almost just kind of an excuse and forces you out to just walk down a few blocks. So we ended up going to George's for ice cream.
I was going to ask you if you went to George's.
Yes, which is, I had to, exactly.
Well, William, you chose Little Bad Wolf. Sum it up for us.
Great menu, great drinks, wonderful neighborhood spot.
Right. Molly?
Really cozy, good food, and absolutely well worth the cocktail.
Christine?
Really chic speakeasy with awesome gastropub, really indulgent eats, and an awesome cocktail menu.
You can try the burgers and more at Little Bad Wolf, 1541 West Bryn Mawr Avenue, 773-942-6399. Open for lunch and dinner every day. Reservations are not accepted, and the average tab per person without drinks is $20. Molly Kavanaugh says she knows a spot that serves up miles of smiles, along with wonderful food. She says for a hearty brunch and a happy heart, head on over to Ridge Avenue and stop by the Greenhouse Inn.
When someone comes to the Greenhouse Inn, I think they can expect a very welcoming atmosphere, good food, and people who are thrilled to have them as new members of our family. The purpose of the Greenhouse Inn is to provide work opportunities for our adults with developmental disabilities. They are truly happy people. They know they're loved, they know they're cherished, they're challenged, they live good lives, and they are some of the happiest people you could find any place in the world. And that happiness permeates the whole place.
Thanks.
Oh my, oh my, oh my. Always have a buffet. Then we have a very extensive menu. And we have grilled products. We have everything that you could think of for a restaurant. People come and they think they're coming to give. And what they're amazed at is how much they receive. Because I do believe that people want to be involved with something bigger than themselves, outside of themselves, and they find that at Misericordia.
So Molly, you say eating at the Greenhouse Inn always makes you feel fantastic. Why'd you choose it?
Such a great place. The thing was that we were looking for a new diner. Our diner closed. And a friend of ours is like, you got to try this place. It's called Greenhouse Inn, but it's like a little special. It's part of the Misericordia campus. And so we went and checked it out as initially a great brunch place and then fell in love. If you go Monday through Friday, this is the interesting experience. It's a total professionally run restaurant, but the front of the house staff is unique in the sense that it's residents, people that live at Misericordia and people that volunteer. So it's not your typical kind of server experience. It's kind of like you got to go in with a little bit of an expectation of like it's going to be a little bit different, but the food, it comes out, it is absolutely gorgeous. They've got great sandwiches and entrees, they've got salads, soups of the day, they have specials, and even during the week they have the buffet, so you could, obviously just sort of like tailor your own experience.
So Misericordia, for people who don't know what that is, though, is a organization that supports individuals who are developmentally disabled, so whether mentally or physically. And the restaurant's on the campus where many of these individuals live.
I'm actually a special education teacher, so when I was really excited to go here, and it was so wonderful to just see opportunities that were given to individuals that might not otherwise have the same opportunity. Our server Jill was phenomenal. She came over, just filling up our coffee. As soon as we would take a couple sips, she was right back there topping us off. And it was just a really great environment. So it was just wonderful to see the camaraderie amongst the residents, amongst the volunteer staff, and then the patrons as well. I went on the website prior and I was looking at it with my wife and I said, I think I'm past my my buffet days. Like I really think I'm just gonna
Never.
get like right, boy.
Never ever.
Foot in mouth. So I took my parents as well, and I think my mom was the first one that just said like, well, I'm gonna get the buffet.
Yeah.
And so we all like got up there and like I think I had a mountain of food. By the time I went back, everything was delicious. You almost just leave feeling really benevolent. You're like, that's, we really did something good today by eating as much food as we could for this brunch.
Right.
It's-
We were going to do this anyway.
Right.
See, you knew about Misericordia because you actually support the bakery.
Yes.
So-
So I normally buy for my clients the bakery, packaged goods for the holidays, and it's so cute. And I've known Misericordia for a while, just kind of being in the school system that I was in. It was always kind of a part of our giving back to the community. My heart would really weigh heavy if I were to ever come across anyone that said anything negative about this place. I mean, it's just such an inspiring environment, and the staff couldn't be, warmer or friendlier. But with that said, the food was delicious. I am a sucker for a really good diner and a really hodgepodge type of menu. So you can get Mexican food, you can get like fettuccine Alfredo, grilled eats, potato pancakes. I'm all about that. So I got the Reuben, which, it's hard to find a Reuben that you don't like. And this one was delicious. Just really ooey gooey cheese, crispy bread, good corned beef. And we ordered a lot of food just because, one, hey, we're giving back.
Right.
And two, it's really, really tasty. So why not?
It's just such a kind environment. Like a lot of times, especially I feel like with Sunday brunch, you can feel rushed or you can feel
Right,
like,
totally.
especially from the wait
Like
staff,
they just wanna turn you over.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like there's that sort of anxiety, and they are like, there's no such thing as accidents. There's no such thing as, I mean, there's such a loving environment. You go and it's, even if they're really busy, like everyone's happy to be there.
I totally agree. There was not a negative feeling. I think sometimes you get caught up in, the city bustle and people kind of being rude, and you go there and everyone is so warm and friendly.
There's not many places. You were speaking a little bit to it about how brunch can be kind of a dog and pony show in Chicago, especially Sunday brunch. And so when we pulled in the parking lot, and you're just in this vast parking lot, you're like, man, am I like out in the suburbs or something? Like I have all right,
Yeah, there's all this
exactly. We
grass.
pulled right up to the greenhouse and just, we walked right in. We have a table in the greenhouse, and again, we're served right away.
It's set on its own campus in a part of town that there's not really much else going on there. And so you drive in, and I kind of compared it to feeling like you're on an Ivy League college's campus. It's very quiet and remote, and it's on 31 acres. So that's quite a chunk of land in the middle of the city.
Yes,
Right?
it's really cool. So the whole campus is there, and and people with developmental disabilities live there, and they're in varying degrees. Some people live in group housing, some people live in independent living, like off campus but nearby.
And these very beautiful homes.
Oh my
too.
gosh, I
Right.
know. You drive through and it's like so beautiful and residential, and it's winding. And
It's definitely a destination location, but you can do the tour, which will take you through the art studio, the gift shop where the residents actually create things and they're sold in the gift shop.
Which is neat.
And which is very neat. And then there's the bakery, obviously.
right.
And,
yummy.
Well, Molly, you chose Greenhouse and sum it up for us.
It's a feel-good place where you're also going to get good food. I mean, you're going to walk away and you're going to feel full, like in your belly and in your heart, I think.
Great. And William?
Wonderful environment, really friendly staff. Ask for Jill for your server if you can, and just a terrific place to be.
Just a really delightful place with really good, simple eats in a really warm and friendly environment.
You can feel the love for yourself at Greenhouse Inn, 6300 North Ridge Avenue, 773-273-4182. Open for breakfast and lunch on Sundays and lunch Tuesday through Friday. They're closed on Mondays and Saturdays. Reservations are accepted, and the average tab per person is $10. So on this week's show, we featured Nico Osteria in the Gold Coast, Greenhouse Inn in West Rogers Park, and Little Bad Wolf in Andersonville. Let's recap what our guests had to say. First, we ran to Rush Street and stopped by Nico Osteria. Christine recommends it for its chic design and stunning Italian seafood. William loved the lobster spaghetti and thought the restaurant was beautiful. Molly said it was pricey, but thought the food was ridiculously delicious. Next, we brought you to Bryn Mawr and grabbed a seat at Little Bad Wolf. William recommends it for a fun night out and an eclectic menu that'll please everyone. Molly loved everything she had, especially her cocktail. Christine was blown away by the burger and said it was a nice neighborhood spot. Lastly, we rushed up to Ridge Avenue and checked out Greenhouse Inn. Molly recommends it for a feel-good brunch spot with fantastic food. William had a wonderful experience and enjoyed the buffet. Christine appreciated the good, simple eats in a loving environment. We've had an awesome time this week. I want to thank my guests, Christine Torres, Molly Kavanaugh, and William Ferguson. Join us next week for 3 new guests recommending 3 of their favorite restaurants right here on Check Please. I'm Catherine Diorio, and I'll see you then. Cheers.
Cheers.
For more information about the restaurants featured on Check Please, go to WTTW.com/checkplease.